Hi, I would like to introduce our research project, which is an heuristic evaluation made by the contribution of Anne Guyen, Andy González Nieto, and Abdiel Avila. The purpose of this report is to conduct an heuristic evaluation of the City of Doral website, which is www.cityofdoral.com, so that it might be improved if needed. We believe a government website's purpose is to provide its local with information of the city itself, events, the city departments they have, jobs opportunity, and more. The purpose of the website also is that people can get to know the city beforehand, informing them about the city's attraction and point of interest. It is important that informing the readers about several online services to help expedite the process for specific registrations like permit requests, park registrations, construction planning, and several others. Using several heuristic techniques from both Jacob Nielsen's website and guidelines from www.usability.gov, this report will evaluate the usability of the website and what can be done for the betterment of it. There will be three separate areas to evaluate: the base user experience, the design of the web pages, and the level of content of the website. The report will be included the heuristics used to evaluate the website, information on the problems areas and how they might be improved. It will also contain the conclusion we arrive in order to finalize the report. In this research, we use a series of heuristics. For example, consistency and standards, where we talk about the steadiness of the site across all pages. User control and freedom, which is about the emergency exit the user have in case they want, for example, to undo something. Recognition rather than recall. Here we talk about how the human brain is wired too quickly to create and recognize patterns. Flexibility and efficiency of use, helping user recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Match between real words and systems. This is an area where it is recommended the use of familiar words, concepts, and phrases to make the page more comfortable to the user. Health and documentation, which is self-explanatory, and aesthetics and minimal design. The interface of the site is very important to the user when we design a web page. Depending on how predictable and intuitive it is, it will be attractive or not to the user. This is one of the features of this web page. All visual elements are expressed in the same way in the entire experience of the site, being very easy to navigate and what the user expects when searching of or interacting with the content. However, in this case we don't consider the design monotonous or repetitive, since the use of colors and images in the banners are well balanced in the common components. In slide number 6, there are screenshots as a sample of the common elements and layout they use in their template. There is a lack of consistency in this page. For example, in the website desktop version, it has in the homepage and scrolling banner at the top, the very top of the page. You cannot do this in the mobile version of the page. So indeed, it's an indication of lack of consistency. There is also an issue with the page when the user tries to zoom in and zoom out the page. Programmatically speaking, there is a benefit when using a template for building a website because we can reuse common elements and layout across the entire site. This is very beneficial for the user since it helps with the human perception, transmitting a sense of organization that ultimately makes the user more comfortable. In this section, we gave them a 4, but also consider that they could add a few more links on the homepage to the most often visited sources of information, like the tax calculator. Now for the next slide, Andy will talk about the efficiency and the ease of use.
Well, thank you for your presentation, Abdiel. It was a great one. I'm gonna spend the next couple of minutes explaining our research on the efficiency and ease of use parameters used for the heuristic evaluation. Please hold on tight. One of the very first things we noticed is that the website is not very much efficient, and it is not very much efficient due to its inability to optimize performance in a way that facilitates the traffic of data between the devices and the actual website. The Lighthouse report that we got from Google Chrome developer tools was pretty clear by giving it the website a score of 46%. This has on account performance, accessibility, best practices, and of course SEO. That means search engine optimization. For that one, the website got 100. On the other ones, for performance, for example, got a 46%. On accessibility, got a 88%. And in best practices, that this only looks at mostly development best practices, such as minification and links to cross-origin destinations and images displayed in incorrect aspect ratios. These were actually 57%. It is important to notice that the audit coming from the development tools is not an exhaustive one, but it does shine some light into what it would be possible to optimize in the website. It is strange that for a website coming from a city and obviously being developed in a custom way, developers let this type of things go because this is one of the most simpler tools that you can use to audit a website and its performance and how the website overall runs. So here we see that even when the website is not old and regarding several dates of update when the website is updated, the website is not old, but still is not serving to the devices images that are from this generation. Images from this generation are always seen as formats like JPEG and JPEG XR or WebP. Is These are better versions of the old ones like PNG or the regular JPEG. This, of course, translates to faster downloads and less data consumption. We can see here that efficiently encoded images is part of the problem, and it is mainly because of the website is unable to provide images that are properly encoded. We also have in object 4, we have an item talking about the possibility of eliminating render blocking resources. This, of course, is are resources that block the first paint of the page, and one of the opportunities that they have here is that they would be um, they would benefit from the fact that delivering critical JavaScript or CSS inline and deferring all non-critical uh, JavaScript and styles would be much better for the way images and overall resources are being rendered in the website. On the other hand, we have the text compression that is not being done in the way that today's best practices they dictate. This is by using gzip or deflating the the text or using compression methods like Probably. And lastly, it's important to recognize that this website was unable to minify the JavaScript files. This is practice pretty much done ubiquitous on the programming world. Is that once you have your JavaScript and your CSS and HTML files, the three files that generate every website in the internet, there are these tools like Webpack that compress whatever it takes from these three files and creates a minified file with the website's name changed and the variables and the functions with IDs and names that are unreadable for humans, but for computers are very much significant in the same way. So this website failed to do that, and minifying JavaScript is very important because it can help reduce payload sizes and script parse time. Additionally, we're gonna see the diagnostics for the website, and this of course is additional information about the performance of the application. In this way, we can see here that it failed by not serving static assets with an efficient cache policy. What this is talking about is that when you have returning users, if you have a long cache lifetime, you can speed up the process of repeating visits to your web page. This, of course, translates in the load to the server being less, and on the side for the user side, it translates on faster download speeds on the website. To show it again. On the other hand, we see here that there is an enormous network payload, almost 9 megabytes of data, and this is important to optimize because large network payloads cost users real money and are highly correlated with long load times. This is something that for the most part is coming from media elements like images that we already talked about, and videos that are not being rendered in an optimal way. On the other hand, we have an excessive DOM size. The DOM is the file where the renderization of the rendering of the HTML, the JavaScript, and cascading sheet styles goes, and it creates one big document where it has all the information, and this document is what is generated in the browser, so the browser can paint the website in the way the user see. So for here, browser engineers regularly recommend to have a website that it does not reach 1200 nodes at any point, because it translates to major problems with loading times and even security. When a website receives high high demand at certain points, it can suffer from a type of attack called denial of service. That this works by attacking the website resources in a way that the website is not going to be able to handle so many connections, and users' information and privacy is exposed, because the website and the servers attending the website are uh, distracted per se, in the way that they cannot enforce every protocol. After seeing the problems that the website is having on performance, I would like to talk a little bit about the how important it is to not forget the segment of the population that has disabilities. Most websites today follow regulations coming from the area association. This is the Accessible Rich Internet Applications Association, and what they did was generating a document where they explain in detail the types of elements that must be labeled on the website creation in order to make the screen readers able to describe in a way images and symbols to people with disabilities, especially visual ones. Every website should have this on account, because of the population with disabilities is a big percent of the population, and for the most part, if the website is created in a lazy way, they are gonna I mean, the website becomes unreachable for this segment of the population. On the on our report, we made clear how there are many area attributes that do not have values. The area attributes are um, a special type of attribute incorporated in HTML and CSS, and HTML5 and CSS3, that it helps the screen reader dictate a description when an alternative text property is not included. Of course, this is expressed in the website concretely, that the social media icons do not say where the link goes, or does not describe the nature of the button, and this of course makes it impossible for the screen reader to generate some feedback. Um, on the other side, with a visibility tool that we used for detecting the variation uh, and contrast of colors in the website, we noticed that background and foreground colors do not have sufficient contrast ratio, and this can be seen in several images and graphics that they are using for advertising, and especially for regular informational content. Additionally, um, we found that there are many ID attributes that are not unique, and this is important for several reasons. On one part, it creates a website that is more efficient, because the browser is able to send the information or travel through the website more effectively because it has an ID for every element in the DOM. But also it's important because looking at it from the accessibility side, this creates a risk of every element that does not have a unique ID. The assistive technology might overlook one of them, and of course it makes no sense for somebody listening to a machine talking that when something like this happens because it skips. After analyzing efficiency and ease of use, we would like to check the practices taken for the aesthetic and minimalist design. This is a very important part uh, of the process of creating a website because for the most part users don't really go in a website reading everything detailed. If something is not clearly seen, if something is not expressly put there, the users are gonna gravitate towards other parts, or simply they're gonna avoid um, browsing through the website because it's too much clutter. That's why I wanted to pay attention to how the website of Sitio Autoral is designed. It doesn't take a keen eye to notice immediately that they are trying to fit as much information in as little space as possible. I don't know why, but we can see here that the first index is are the city officials, like if that was something important. And on the other hand, that we have links to every city department, but on the center of the page we have promotional websites, videos that explain the lifestyle that Doral wants to promote. And on the right we see a calendar for the upcoming events. Honestly, a website that has so much information in so little space, this type of setup is often overlooked by users. They don't pay attention to anything, and and to anything specific, because if they were looking for the city officials, it's such a small element, or at least percentage of the information that it's happening there, that the user just gets distracted. In the same way, we see how the other pages in the website have problems of design and at least aesthetics. We can see how the different colors and fonts and frames clash against each other without having synergy. This we can see on the signs that says follow the rules, and in Spanish, no hacemos eso aquí. And this is on a section of the website that that talks about being proud of Doral. And we can see here in the beginning of the on the beginning of the article, it shows another font and another style to what the user is seeing on the beginning of the page. And later on, it creates a form. It has a form for you to follow the rules on another type of design that is using other colors, and it basically does not anchor to any type of style, or at least planned style. In the same way, I wanted to talk about one of the major problems that the website has, in my opinion, and this is the problem that the website has three different hierarchies to address information, the organization of the overall information on the website. To begin with, the website has a section where you can register and sign in, both, and this is somewhat confusing because regularly either websites provide a registration system where you can subscribe and you're gonna receive their emails, and um, either you can sign in with with an account that you create. But here you have the ability of creating of going through the same process by registering and um, signing in. It is not the same process. You basically have two accounts to enter the website to see the permissions to apply for the jobs in there. So it's pretty confusing. That's on the top of the website. Additionally, we have the first problem with the organization with the information organization, and this is this part right here where we can see that the website has provided a specific way of exploring or navigating the website. But this has a problem because having an account that this is a rather informative website, it does not provide the information quickly, or at least the way that the website is designed, it doesn't make it easy for a user to go, for example, to the residents section and start a permitting request or a building request, because it doesn't have that kind of information. When one goes to the residents section with the types of things we can do, there is sections called living in Doral, blasting mining information, Doral proud. It's very sparse the way they organize the information there. And we can see here also that on the other hand, they decided to provide with several links that apparently are one is able to reach from the menus on the top of the page, but they're kind of providing speed dial on these links. And these links, of course, are directed to are organized in several sections and directed to providing quicker access to the major features of the website. So this also talks about how important it is for them that the users are able to find information, but of course with the design they have been unable of doing so. So this vertical section that we have here, it has the city officials and section for contact us, the city, the different pages for the city departments, building, code compliance, economic development, and uh, another section that is not very much useful called special links, where they apparently are listing any miscellaneous information, and a last section finally called online services. It is worth noticing that they also have another section where they are managing the information organization that has links that are perhaps the highest used links on the website. And but what they're actually doing here is just referring some of the websites from the column and some of the pages from the top menu. This of course generates great confusion on the users, and I think it's safe to say that it's something that their development team should be working on, because the website does not have any type of simplicity in regards to minimalist design or at least effective communication. For this proper presentation, I'm I'm gonna be giving the word to Anne, that she's gonna talk about the match between the system and the real world. This is our next topic on our heuristic evaluation exam.
Thank you, Andy. The match between the real world and system heuristic is relevant to the evaluation because of the state of connectivity that the world is currently at. Events are consistently happening, so any website that keeps track of events has to be constantly updated or become outdated, with the consequence of getting less visitors. In today's world of technology and capability for travel, people can live in a city and never know who lives on the other side of the city. So, having a large variety of languages that a website can be translated into would help out both the city and its residents. The image on this slide reflects just a few of the few languages that people may encounter throughout their lifetime. Due to this importance, being able to find the method to translate the web page to understandable language quickly is important for the users. So, the fact that the translator is actually at the bottom of the website makes it very inefficient for the users to find the method to translate the website to an understandable language that they can read. According to research from Kara Pernice of the Nelson Norman Group website and Mark Schenker of the Design and Function website, people read in an F-shaped pattern online as illustrated by image. So, the fact that the translator is placed at the bottom of the website makes it very inefficient for the users to be able to find the translator quickly. Therefore, the recommendation is to move the translator towards the top of the website so that people can find it as fast as possible and so be able to make the web page understandable quickly. Under the help and documentation heuristic, two issues were found and documented. The first point is that the frequently asked questions, also known as FAQs, of the website is small and when selected leads directly to another website without at least an introduction towards the process that the users are about to undergo. Then there's the fact that it is at the bottom of the website. This is difficult to find in the first place. The second point is that the website lacks a method to quickly report a broken link or picture that did not load correctly. The recommendation for this part is to include a larger FAQ section and include an introduction towards the process that the questions link to so that people know at least what they are looking at. A larger FAQ section also helps the search engines like Google target the website in accordance to the keywords that the users input into the search bar. In this slide, it shows how often the frequently asked questions tend to show up in a search. The website that the image comes from is Google Trends, which looks up how often, which keeps track of how often a certain term is looked up over time. And you can also use it to compare how two different topics are researched over time and how much interest people put into it. Frequently asked question sections are important because of the fact of how search engines work. Search engines look for keywords to use in a search. A frequently asked questions section adds more keywords similar to questions that are asked by people, and in return, search engines return the results that include the frequently asked questions sections of a website to a user to look through for the answer. From the second point in the previous slide, the recommendation for this point is to add a method that allows users to quickly report an error with the website. The chart shows how organizations often improve user or product experience. And since this is a website, it would be best to include an easy method for people to report an issue with the website that gets fixed quickly so that users can continue to do what they were doing. In the conclusion of the presentation, the heuristics used to evaluate the website are consistency and standards, recognition rather than recall, efficiency and flexibility of use, aesthetic and minimalist design, match between system and real world, and help in documentation. The result is that the website is currently functioning and ready for the majority of its users. However, it still does suffer from several issues, like how some images in the GIS portal webpage do not load correctly with the rest of the website, or the fact that when one opens the website on a mobile device, not everything loads correctly. It is recognized that much effort has gone into presenting a well-written, programmed, and designed website to represent the city of Doral and its residents. With the implementation of the recommendations, this website can be improved to fit the technology today and continually be improved upon to work with the technology of tomorrow. Thank you.